Hey, and welcome to a Friday evening live card making tutorial. Oh my goodness, this evening I'm going to be using the Grow with Love stamp set. We've got curves and a heartfelt sentiment for you. And so let me first introduce myself. I'm Shelley Godby, and for 23 years, 24, I've been teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles through my YouTube videos, my Stamping Smiles blog, and my mailing list. So welcome. Well, let's have a closer look at, here we go, the Grow with Love bundle. Now, this is an online exclusives, and so that means the only place you'll see it pictured is online. And you know what? I was looking it up because actually I'm making one of the samples because I fell in love with it. And this was introduced in January. So, how long it'll be around, we don't know. That I've seen things go quicker than this. So we just don't know. So here's the Grow with Love bundle. All right. So let me go ahead and put that over there. Fantastic. All right. So, like I said, online exclusives. So we've got the stamp set, and I ran out of time. I wanted to die cut this for you because it's it makes a seed envelope, which is really cool. This die. Okay, these magnet cards are fantastic. They keep things nice and um, nice strong magnets. But see, this will fold into a seed one. And I thought, oh, how cute. And look at this die. That's a really pretty label die. And it'll die cut that image. So that will be really, really sharp. Okay, so I'm not using this obviously this evening, or I wouldn't have said, boy, I wish I'd gotten a die cut. Oh, Miss Adelaide is here, and Miss Sherry. Hello, hello, hello. And so we've got open dies for the 4 different herbs. And then, of course, the seed envelope, the label, a couple more labels. And then so you can, put a tie on there. So this is a fantastic set. And I have mine stored on these magnet cards that I get at Stampin' Storage, and I can show you right here. And as you just saw, super strong. I mean, the dies aren't coming off, so you're not risk losing any of them. And there are so many dies in this set. I needed 2 sheets. They did come on 2 sheets of, the cardstock with the tape. These are so much better instead of trying to get back on that tape. And then I store them in one of these storage pockets. And Stampin' Storage, now that's a separate company from Stampin' Up. Um, they're having their Memorial Day sale, so save 10% store wide. Today, Friday, March 23rd, May 23rd through Monday, May 26th. And then I slide them into these pockets, and that's what I have up here. Now, 20% on carousels. So if you want to get your room all organized, look how roomy they are. And they come in different sizes. I choose the 6x6. They have 6x7. They've got different sizes. And so the prices vary according to the size you get, but 10% savings is always welcome, isn't it? Okay, and 20% on the carousels. All right. Okay, here we go. Fantastic. So we've got some stamping to do before the die cutting. And I wanted to show you something. The other evening, I did my card with, it's right there, Impressions of, nope, that's another one, right? Impressions of Bloom. Holy smokes. It's right there. Okay. No. Extraordinary Flora. Oh, Miss Patricia's here. And so I did this card. And then I realized I meant to finish the inside for you. I mean, I don't always do that, but this one had a greeting. So the greeting is, I wish I had the right words for a time like this, which could be a sympathy, but and just a card of caring, but know how much I love and care about you. And look, I had enough, and I still have some left of the washi tape that I die cut to decorate the inside. Nice little touch, and then the envelope. So that just makes a full card. And I wanted to show you that. So there we go. Extraordinary Flora. And if you missed that video, I'll put a link there for you because it's so stinking cool how die cut washi tape. All right, let me set that aside. So we've got some stamping. And what I have here is basic white cardstock. And whenever you're stamping on white cardstock, you absolutely want to use the Stampin' Up! Basic white cardstock because it has a smooth, tight finish to give you crisp, clean images. Oh, and Miss Jane is here. Well, thank you, Miss Jane. Yeah, that card was so easy. So you'll have to check that out if you missed that video. Okay, so I'm going to die cut 3 of these. There we go. And so let me start with the rosemary. And you know what's really cool? The die doesn't do the words. I really was thrilled with it. Oh, thank you, Miss Gail. If you didn't see it, or she loved my video. That's fantastic. So I'm going to do a technique called stamping off. So I've got some scrap paper here. And like I said, the card I'm doing was one of the samples, but one of the colors retired, and so I've got a workaround, and it's working out pretty doggone well. All right, so I'm going to use basic gray. So I'm going to pick this up. Well, there we go. Slide that over. Okay, so this, they had used the pebbled path, and so I'm stamping that off. Then we'll come over here and we'll get a lighter version, and it's not pebbled path, but it worked really, really well. And I'll be using all of this again, but let me close these for now. Okay, and then I want, this is really cool. Okay, so this, let me show you what I did, because by now you probably know that the cloud cover stamp will never be available. And so what I did is I found this, and the reason is because the chemicals of the ink didn't work well. It just wouldn't stabilize with the chemicals of the firm foam pad. I love our firm foam pads, but they work just fine with a felt pad. Our Stampin' Spots are felt pads, the 1x1 squares, but I wanted something bigger. So I found this on Amazon, and there's the link to it. And with a cloud cover refill, I just filled it myself. So this came uninked. So I can have cloud cover to use for the next 2 years. And so that's the link to that, okay? So I wanted to show you what I had done, but it just makes me happy to have a cloud cover ink pad. Okay, so for that one, I want this stamp. We'll get this good and inked up. All right, and come over here. Voila, such a soft, pretty color. And you know, our ink pads, you probably know this, but if not, you know, they store themselves upside down. You know, when we close it, it stores itself upside down. That keeps the ink to the top. Well, this doesn't. So when you're done, turn it over and store it upside down so it'll keep the ink to the top for you too. All right, and so my last color before die cutting, I've got Lost Lagoon. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And I need this stamp. Yeah, like I said, I was really glad that the dies don't cut out the name of the herb, because it just makes it easier. I didn't have to try to mask it or anything like that. Okay, so our stamping is done for now for what we need to do for die cutting. So let's put all this aside and grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And if you haven't yet, please give my video a thumbs up and a share. And of course, come in and say hello. We are a nice group of ladies. Okay, well, and some gentlemen, I'm sure. So a nice group of stampers. There we go. How about that? Okay, so here's my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And just love this thing. All right, so look how it folds up. So it doesn't take much room. I have a shelf I put it on, and my mini is behind it. And it just saves, you know, a lot of room when it doesn't have to be open all the time. Okay. And so then we need to build what is called a sandwich. So for the thin metal dies. So I could use plate number 1 and plate number 2. Oh, and Miss Rosa is here. Hello. So I could use plate number 1 and plate number 2, but instead, you know what? I'm going to use the magnetic platform because I don't need, because of the magnets, it'll hold the dies in place. I don't need some kind of tape. Oh, okay. I thought I was showing you this. And so this is something that Stampin' Up! Used to sell. They don't anymore. And so I gave mine away and I bought another one right there. This is the one I purchased on Amazon. You see all those little circles? Those are the magnets. And so with this, I don't need to use some kind of adhesive to hold it in place. Post-it notes, washi tape, low-tack tape, whatever it is. And you may just see in just a second, it doesn't make me a perfect die cutter, but it certainly makes me a better one. So regardless if you use plate number 1 and 2 or the magnetic platform, you then need a plate number 3. And this magnetic platform works with the Big Shot too. Okay, so then I need my stamped images. I may only be able to do one at a time because you have to find the magnets. We will see. All right, I think that's this die. And I like to plop the die down and let it find, let me turn that over. Want it to be as flat as possible. I keep rotating them and that helps. Let the magnet find the dies because if you've ever used one of these, you know that they can kind of pull. And let me pull this back and see what I'm doing. I don't know about you. I always stand up when I'm die cutting, but I've tried doing it for the video. I thought, well, I can stand up, but then I hit my head on the camera and everything goes awry. So that's not a solution. All right. And then I need a plate number 3 again to put on top. And look, I scooted that. I did not mean to do that. It scooted because I didn't just lay it on there and then it moves it. That's not cool. All right. So let's try again. I got to see what I'm doing. You know what? In case I messed up, because, it's live and I'm me, I did go ahead and stamp these, but do lay it on there and don't scoot it on. There we go. And so the new catalog, oh my goodness, and online exclusives. Now, this isn't one of the brand new online exclusives, but it's the first time I've played with it. And, oh, there we go. Fantastic. All right, so let's do some more. And there we go. And this die. Yes. And the new Stampin' Rewards program. I mean, life is good. And here in the US, Memorial Day weekend, earlier than normal. I was talking with a friend and I said something about being Memorial Day weekend. And she says, no, it's not. I said, it's well, it is. Yeah. And so May is getting past us already. Can you believe it? Do you see how it's trying to find a magnet? I didn't just plop it down. I put my cardstock down and try to force it. Definitely want to find a magnet. Okay, there we go. And another plate number 3 placed on this time. So I'm so glad you're here, even though it's a holiday weekend. And I don't know about where you are, but been talking to some of my sweet stampers. Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty. It's been rainy and cold this last week, but starting tomorrow and then Sunday and definitely Monday, oh, big, big improvement. And then here's the one that we stamped off, and I believe it's this one, the rosemary, and plop that down. In this card, I am so pleased with how it turned out. I can't wait for you to see it. All right, and then plate number 3 again. Oh, and Miss Marge is here. Fantastic. Okay, and then we have one more thing to die cut, and then we will start stamp, stamp, stamp. Okay, we're doing good, huh? All right, back on here. And so remember, if you follow my link, I'd sure appreciate that. You won't pay a penny more, but I get a tiny little percentage. And hey, commission for telling you about it. Every little bit helps. That is for sure. Oh, I'm not done. All right. And so what I have here is some Lost Lagoon cardstock. Let's not put it in the center this time. If we move the dies around, it really helps. So rotate your cutting pads, use both sides, rotate them, and try not to cut in the same place. And this is a tag die. And so it's going to create the washi tape look for us. That's really cool. Okay. And now we are truly done die cutting. unless I forgot something, because that has happened before, but I don't think so this time. All right, so let me put this down. Isn't that pretty sharp? And so you have that one and a smaller one. So I just really love our dies for more than just the images that they die cut, the stamped images, but then all the labels, because that's a really pretty label too. And it'd be really pretty with the stamped image. And so, yeah, very, very nice bundle. Okay. I need to remember to stamp off. There are some times that I forget to stamp off, like ruh-roh. All right, and Miss Gail, 50s in West Virginia. Yeah, that would be chilly there. We're in the 50s too, but gosh, we got spoiled because we had some really nice warm weather. But I think this hit a lot of the country. I was listening to the news and how they were talking about some places, I mean, just really cold for them that wouldn't be used to that at all. And it was even unseasonably warm or cool here too. Okay, so let's start again. And I'm back with my makeshift cloud cover pad, but again, so thrilled to have it. And let's put some, I'm going to go off the bottom. So the edge. So I'm going to put this underneath me again. So let's ink this up. Do, 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 do. And we're going to build ourselves an herb garden. Isn't that cloud cover beautiful? So glad we're able to, let me keep that with it. We're able to create one. Miss Jeannie. Oh, you have the bundle. Fantastic. Oh, and Miss Nurse Lori. Okay, so remember, I get talking, I forget. Oh, I'm not ready for this one. That goes with the gray. Hold on. I want this one. This is with the old olive. And I'm going to go off the bottom, but I'm still going to try not to grab that, the time. And in their sample, it overlapped a little bit. So that's on purpose, but it's okay. It still looks really, really good. And let's keep these with them. Okay. And then I want back my Lost Lagoon. There we go. And let's try to ink this up without hitting that basil. Another thing you can do is put a piece of Scotch tape when you're inking it and then remove it before you stamp. That was a brand new stamper, and I did that. I covered it. I thought, oh, that's so smart, but I forgot to remove it. And I thought, oh, well, that didn't work. Okay, so in their sample, there was a little bit of a gap here. They weren't quite hitting each other, so we'll do that little bit of a gap. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Leave this on here. And then, some more of the old olive. But this, let's do this for our placement. Some more old olive. This pretty greenery going on. Nice. I'll be using that again. And this goes here. Oh, and remember we die cut. So I'm just putting these for placement right now. Okay. And some more of the old olive with our thyme. And I didn't catch it, so that's good, but I think the label will cover it up. Fantastic. Okay. Back with the basic gray. 26 degrees Celsius. So I'm guessing that is not warm. I don't know Celsius, but yeah, that's pretty cold. That's not warm. Okay, I'm talking, so you know how I do. Let's stamp off. There we go. Stamp off. We'll come over here into this corner. Very, very nice. We are done with that. I think I'm almost done stamping, not quite. Back with our self-made cloud cover pad. A little bit of color down in here. There we go. We are done with the stamping with the classic pads. We do have some embossing to do. And did I say hello to Miss Margaret? it went through my head, and I don't know if I actually said it or not. Okay, so there we go. That's easier to see without that behind it. And let's start doing some adhering. And for that, I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. Love this stuff. So I put my finger where it's a bit opaque and roll that on. Okay, and so this stays. Oop, the light one. Here we go. The soft sky. That's back here. And with my silicone mat, it doesn't stink. 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, that sounds quite lovely. That actually sounds very, very nice. That sounds really good to me right now. And then I know before long we'll be complaining it's too hot, but okay, and so those are all layered, and that just adds a lot. Now this is coming down over the edge just a tiny bit, so I'm going to take my paper snips. If you don't have paper snips, you really want some paper snips. There we go. And just clean that edge up. So now, maybe I should have stamped first. I'm not using a photopolymer. That would have been smart. All right, so we're going to pretend it goes okay if it doesn't. But you know what's going to make the embossing so much better is my Embossing Editions toolkit. And it comes with Embossing Buddy, which is really nice because so rub this over your cardstock. And what this does, it helps eliminate any areas that will take okay, so we're going to use a Versamark pad. Here we go. And it's really wet. It's a pigment ink, but we also have oil in our hands. And so sometimes it'll stick to that. The Embossing Buddy helps eliminate that. Miss Jeanette, you're watching from Australia. Fantastic. And so that Embossing Buddy, Stampin' Up came up with that over 20 years ago, and they kept winning awards year after year after year with the Scrapbookers. Oh, there was a magazine. All right. Now I'm nervous. I should have stamped before we die cut. All right. Hopefully I do a really, really good job. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I act like I've done this before. Okay. So I did a good job. You can't see it yet. Oh, 65. See, now I could live in that temperature year round. 65, 70, 75. And so we're going to emboss. And what I have here is the opaque bright white from the basics, the Wow Basics embossing powders. And it's just really sharp. Instead of putting a white label on here and stamping it in blue, that we do the blue, sprinkle on the powder, and then make the letters white. How cool is that? Do you see how the embossing powder stuck to just the ink and not any of the oils in my skin? In this tray, well, we capture it so I can funnel it back in. But maybe one of my favorite parts in here are the tweezers. And because when you're holding on to this and heating it up with the heat tool, which we'll use in a second, ouchie mama, your fingers get hot in a hurry. So these tweezers, they squeeze and it grabs it, but the top is plastic, but this is very strong metal, so it won't wear out on me. But with this being plastic, it won't radiate the heat back to me. And what I really love is I don't have to squeeze the whole time. I squeeze to put it on and then I just hold it. It is a brilliant design. And then I need to melt this embossing powder because as cool as this is right now, it's going to get even better. When I melt it, it will get more opaque. So I'm going to use the heat tool. And you don't want to use a hairdryer. It's just not hot enough. This, don't use on your hair. Although I do love it for getting adhesive off of things. And when Stampin' Up changed the design, I gave my husband my old one. Yeah, it's with his tools because it's such a good tool. All right, so there are two settings. First one is to dry ink. The second one is to melt the embossing powder. And you don't have to, if you want to, you can do that, but there's no need. Save your wrist and just hold it until you see it turning. And it goes from powdery, there we go. It takes a little bit to heat up the cardstock to look at that opaque image, so it's going to stand out really well. And this font is gorgeous. And of course, I love when they mix script with print. But wow, this is a pretty script font. And there we go. It doesn't take long at all. But the Wow embossing powder, what a great name, because embossing always is a wow. It's why I'm a stamper. Okay, so now let's put this all together. We have this built up. And this is one of the things that I loved about it. They put it on fresh freesia cardstock. And I tend to just be really matchy-matchy, in my home decor and everything else. I like, and normally I would have picked a color from here, but there's no purple in this, but it is so pretty on there. So let's turn this over and back with my stamp and seal. There we go. And this is going edge to edge. So I just need to center from the top and bottom. And then this is the second card I'm going to do, remaking one of their samples where they distress the edge. And that's something we did 20 years ago, and it's been quite a while, but I'm loving it. So I've got a bone folder. We're going to just rough this up a bit. And so, you know, as in everything, what's old is new. You know, bell bottoms came back. I mean, everything comes back, doesn't it? Now, there's some things I hope don't come back, some styles that the way we wore our hair. I haven't seen some of that stuff come back, and that's all good. But that just adds, can you see that in the video? This just adds a soft, it just softens it all up. All right, and then onto basic beige cardstock. Isn't that pretty? I'm just crazy about this card. Well, yeah, because, you know, it was so pretty I wanted to do it, even though the seed packet is just really cool. And my mom's a huge gardener. She's actually a master gardener. And then, yeah, her daughter, yeah, that's where I fell far from the apple tree. Isn't that beautiful together? And so then our greeting that I'm surprising that I stamped that well. Let's use a couple Stampin' Dimensionals, my favorite adhesive ever. It's amazing what, instead of just laying things on flat, what a little bit of dimension can do. Okay, and we'll peel these off. And this goes about right there. And then for our finishing touch, which very cool. Well, thank you, Miss Melanie. I have got the adhesive back rainbow dots. Okay, this one that came first. Usually it starts with a rainbow adhesive back dots. A lot of times, right, they put adhesive back first. And in here, fresh freesia is one of the colors. So always press down on the embellishment, because it's happened to me more than once that I go and pick it up if I don't do that, and the adhesive's still sitting on the acetate. But this has been foolproof ever since I started doing that. And tuck in one over here. And the fresh freesia, yeah, it's what made it. I mean, all of this stamped is so pretty, but then the touches of, oh, I moved my, here we go. The touches of the fresh freesia just make this card. Oh, Miss Glenda, good evening. Oh, yes. Miss Nurse, yes, it is magical. Yes, yes, yes. So there we go. And what a great casual Friday card, because it was designed for me. I just had to recreate it. But wow, so, so pretty with the Grow with Love bundle. So unless I told you otherwise, like the magnet cards and the storage pockets and the ink pad, unless I tell you otherwise, everything that I use is available to order in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. Well, thank you, Miss Margaret. Oh, and Miss Gail. Yeah, I mean, Stampin' Up, I don't know if you agree, but their samples have gotten so much better that I find, like, wait a minute, that's so pretty. I just want to make that. And I am really pleased with this. And you know what else is nice about that? Somehow you can just see it better in a video coming together. that helps, or maybe you just missed it because you just can't see every sample in the online store, where in the catalog, I still miss some, but I think harder in the online store. So with the online exclusives, because that's the only place they are. Yeah, Miss Adelaide, yeah, the color's beautiful, right? And so Lost Lagoon, and remember, I didn't put a label on this, but this is cloud cover. Those are beautiful together. And the old olive and the basic gray stamped off. So it's a muted, and then we throw in the fresh freesia. Wow, wow, wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So the grow with love, before we know it, we're going to have, because every other month things hit the last chance list. So in June, this could be on there. So get ahead of the game and go ahead in my online store and pick up the Grow with Love bundle. Miss Melanie, not that I'm aware of, but in the online store, go look and see what samples they have, but not that I'm aware of. Stampin' Up, no, not beyond what we see with the products either in the catalog or the online store. She was wondering if Stampin' Up has another place. They've got a blog, and I never go there, but I don't know if there are additional samples. So, but I haven't found them anywhere else. All right, so I am so glad you joined me. So let's do this. There we go. Come back, and then I can put the chat up here. Fantastic. Well, I am so tickled so many of you came and joined me on a Friday of Memorial Day weekend. It was so much fun spending my evening with you. And I'm not seeing any new questions. But again, the Grow with Love bundle is available to order now in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. So it's that time where I say again, thank you for joining me. And let's cue the music. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Good evening and God bless.